Hello, everyone. So we're back. Um, just wanted to go over some of the new cards that spirits come out with the healing. First, here we're having belief and repair. This is our ascended master Mataji, right? It's the number 36. Um, and this is part of our Crystal Masters 333. And really, it's going into those old beliefs, right? Those things that say we cannot, right? Or that we are unworthy, or that we do not have enough. Also, that we will not be enough, or that we don't have the resources, that we don't have what it takes. Those beliefs that say it's bigger than me, right? Like it's the impossible. And this is so weird because as I was talking, I realized my cats, who obviously like to pull cards when I'm not in here, must have left these two at my feet. We have the Fool. This is taking that leap, right? That leap of faith. It's starting that new adventure, right? It's leaping into the unknown, right? It's not knowing. And if you notice, as I put her there, she's got her back turned toward the root, right? She's letting go of all of those false beliefs, all of those gremlins that come forward that say, but you tried this, but you did this, it didn't work, or it won't work, or you don't have what it takes to make it happen, or that you're not enough, you're not worthy, really. And the second card is the Princess of, or it's called the Princess of Circus in this deck, but it's the Page of Wands. And it says, unleash your creativity, right? It's having faith, that knowing that what you hold and what in your heart, in your root, in your sacral and solar plexus, that it is going to come in to being. There's a lot of naysayers out there right now. There's a lot of naysayers that will come forward with all kinds of proof that it just is not so. And that happens a lot of times, especially in my experience, with my back, or even when I had doctors saying that I needed to consider my options with my son. I look crazy. I look crazy to this day. you know, there's just always someone with an expert opinion. There is always someone who thinks they know better or know more. There will always be those people who tell you that your hopes and your visions and your dreams are unrealistic and that you need to come down to earth. And a lot of times when we receive this type of energy, right, where our ascended heart has been opened, we feel and we know what the common people don't. And, a lot of times we can get really excited, right? But a lot of times we can feel overburdened and weighed down like it's too much. And it's because it's that time of finally seeing a glimpse, right? We see a glimpse of the impossible becoming possible in a place, in a day, in an age, in circumstances and experiences where everything feels like it kind of goes against what our heart is hoping for, right? And so I feel like Spirit's really coming in and saying, allow that light to anchor, allow it to come in, allow it to inspire you, and allow it to bring life to those areas that have been given up on, right? It's like anchoring in that light. And I wrote a little bit of a meditation here, but I want to get through these first. We have our 11th auric field. This is that divine coming in. It's rooting here in the solar plexus, in the second chakra. This is your phoenix rising energy, okay? And we know that the phoenix, it only rises out of the ashes. So there are some limiting beliefs that are being burnt up, and that can have us feeling a little overwhelmed, right? And Spirit saying, allow that to be released through your emotions and your creativity. Allow that fire that you feel in your belly, right? To try and bring in that joy, okay? Not so much so that, I wouldn't go driving my car off the cliff and thinking that it's going to grow wings and fly, right? This is more about anchoring in that spiritual guidance into form. That's what this 11th auric field here is for. It says, let me read this. It says summoning forces and manipulating form, right? If we're summoning those higher divine forces and that higher divine light, remember that star seed, we drew that seed down in through our crown and we allowed it to anchor there into the ascended heart, to expand, to cleanse that area, to allow the breath of life to flow. And now we're being guided and we're saying now to manipulate the form, right? To try and draw this light down into form, right? It means it's going to hit the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and even the root, right? Because it's going to go through the root into the center of Mother Earth. And so we're also being called to make sure that our words, our heart's desires, and our actions are all aligned, that we hold ourselves, our thoughts, our words, our actions in integrity, right? To that crystalline heart, that crystalline energy that we anchored into the heart, that cleared the heart, that allowed these vibrant colors to come forward. This is like your Archangel Raphael energy. When it's activated, it kind of explodes, creating this crystalline structure. So it's anchored into the heart, and to anchor that into form, it's going to trigger those feelings of disempowerment. It's going to trigger the feelings of overwhelm, those areas within us that say this is too much, that I'm not good enough, that I don't have what it takes, that I'm going in the wrong direction, or that have us asking if we've made a mistake, right? These false beliefs, these old beliefs, actually, they're old disbeliefs in ourselves, those places where we feel a moment of hope, and then something comes in and says, don't get your hopes up, right? So we're really being called to anchor that in. And I wanted to try and do that really quick here to just bring us into alignment, right? To bring us into that place of wholeness, to continue to reaffirm, to use those affirmations that have come to us, right? And to really kind of start to think and speak and act in alignment with those affirmations. I know a lot of people say, all you got to do is repeat this 3 times a day, 3 days a week, or whatever. But it's so much more than that, especially when we're dealing with what I call miracle energy. Okay. There were a lot of people who told me I would not walk. Professionals, surgeons, radiologists, you know. And even when I could, they told me not to. And then when I didn't stop, they told me in 5 years I would be in a wheelchair. Well, I don't own a wheelchair, and it's been 8. And I'm not going to sit and second guess myself or doubt myself by giving them power and going out and buying a wheelchair, right? It just wouldn't make sense, right? So there's a point where it takes action, right? So that we can bring that into form. I could have simply said, I can walk, I can walk, I can walk, and never taken a step and told everybody, I can walk, I can walk, I can walk. But out of fear of walking causing me to be certainly paralyzed, I just laid in bed. Like, no, it took action. I had to lift my head. I have to get my shoulders off the bed. And there were a lot of times where, lifting my head and getting my shoulders off the bed, my arms were trembling. I couldn't hold myself up. And I laid back down. And to everybody else, it looked like, well, yeah, the doctors must be right. It looked like I was being unrealistic. It looked like I was failing, like I had hoped in something that was not true. But I kept trying. And I kept going back to the beginning and back to the beginning. But every time I had to try again, I was growing stronger. I was anchoring in that light beyond what people could see, think, feel, taste, touch, smell. It wasn't form. And so doubt could set in, right? I say, call the gremlins forward, right? Those gremlins that say you can't, you will not. Call them forward. Release them. Ask Archangel Michael to come in and cut, clear, dissolve, bind, remove any and all limiting beliefs around worthiness, around lack, disbelief, and send them to the 13th dimension and above. For this is not their home. It may have been at one time, but their purpose has been served. And now we are stepping into a new adventure, a new purpose. Open to infinite possibilities. Like you cannot make it up. That's the starfish spirit. Open to infinite possibilities. Open up that sacral, that solar plexus. Allow the solar plexus to come through. Allow yourself to make decisions and take actions that defy, right, what was, that defy those limiting beliefs. When we take action, right, when we take action towards something that every belief we've ever known says was impossible, we're defying gravity. We're defying that of this world, which is tumbling down, crumbling down. We're showing the universe that yes, I feel this. Yes, I know it. And I know it so deep in my core that I am going to act on it in alignment with love and compassion, with grace, with ease, right? And that action, they don't have to be huge. They don't have to be huge actions. You don't have to tightrope across the Grand Canyon. It can be the simplest of actions of speaking something in the heart, then acting on it and holding true to what we say we will do, right? So if we say we're going to be somewhere or do something, then we do it. We arrive when we say we will. We do what we say we will do. That's holding that integrity. It's drawing integrity. And that integrity brings wholeness, right? Because a lack of integrity brings in division. It divides the heart's inner knowing with the thoughts and the words and the actions that we take. I knew I can walk. Wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to prove in the beginning. Really wasn't. And maybe the way that it started to show up, didn't look that magnificent to everybody else. Didn't mean just because I could wiggle my toes that I was going to get up and walk and never need a wheelchair. So what? You can wiggle your toes. So what? Easy for someone to say that wasn't laying in bed with doctors telling you you're not going to walk. It wasn't easy for someone who finally did walk, listening to doctors say, well, you're just going to end up in a wheelchair. It didn't take the form that everyone expected. So sometimes we have to get all those gremlins together in a room, you know, sit them down and say, listen, I get it. If anybody freaking gets it, I get it. It doesn't look possible. It doesn't feel good. But I have to have faith. I have to not have only have faith. I have to have that inner knowing that is so strong that it breaks up that root in that sacral and frees that phoenix and allows that phoenix to rise. For real. It's opening oneself up to infinite possibilities. And to do that, it takes action, it takes integrity, right? So let's see what else they had that might come in before I start my little to-do. Let spirit be your guide. Hawk spirit. Right there with our phoenix. Right? Let spirit be your guide. You will know what to do. And it may not look like anything else. And it may not look like anything others want to see. It may not even look like anything you expect it to. But allow the spirit within you, in your heart, that knowing, allow that to be your guide, and know that in whatever way it looks, it is right. There is divine purpose in it. This is divine. This is the 11th auric field, right? This is spirit coming in and anchoring light. It really is. Your 11th auric field yeah, this is I don't know how to say it. What I experience, it's almost like chakras, right? That are in the palms of the hands and the feet. See how they've got their hands open? That's something that Spirit's been bringing out to me lately, right? Is to activate those palms, to allow them to be open. A lot of people, when they sit or they sleep, even myself, I've caught myself where we ball our fists, right? We curl our toes, we cover our feet, right? Allow the energy to flow through these areas. One of the ways that we can allow that to flow is by doing, right? By walking, by opening up those chakras in our actions, right? It's what we touch, it's where we walk. It's anchoring that light through touch, through walking, through standing in that divine path. Really. Um, Yeah. I mean, it's like Reiki, right? Um, Reiki healing, energy healing, allowing that light to flow through the palms of our hands, um, eliminates, um, doesn't eliminate, right? It expands, it transmutes those energies that come in through the world, also where we walk, the things that we touch. Um, yeah, that makes sense. So things that where we go, right? Let them be at peace, right? Be at peace with where we walk, be in integrity, allow those places where we dwell, where we go to be in integrity with this healing. Those things that we touch, right? Those things we use our hands, right? When we eat to bring in that nourishing, that whole body nourishment. So, what we touch, where we go, allow those things to uh, be in integrity with this healing. Yeah. Let me see here if there's anything else. Um, I'm trying to see. Boundaries also are big, right? Um, if I said, I could walk and then I knew I could, but I surrounded myself with naysayers, it would affect my energy. I would feel depleted. I would begin to feel burdened. Um, so really keeping in mind the areas where we are, our boundaries. Um, that sort of thing. So let's see here. Um, mhm. Let's see what Spirit has here for this healing. Mhm. Okay. So the child came back out. These three just popped out. So this is that family room, that is that private space. This is that new beginning, right? Just like the Fool, this is bringing in that new beginning. And this is considered good news. For real. That is considered good news. Definitely. So fun. This child, also anchoring this light. It's like Spirit is saying, we're going to help you anchor this light into form. And in order to do that, right, we want you to open up to infinite possibilities and allow Spirit to guide you. Creation, the phoenix rising, right? Kind of move some of these. Just bear with me. It's almost like a joyful living space here, right? That's our surroundings. It's bringing that passion and that creativity and that joy into our living space while that divine child, remember the child within, is coming into wholeness, right? So those things that we do, allowing that divine child to come through and really express itself in our actions, is going to help with this healing also. Also have good news. I mean, this is the Phoenix rising energy, but we also know that the Phoenix also only rises from the ashes, right? So we have some positive news coming in here. This child spirit, I don't know. It's like helping the divine anchor light. A lot of times that divine light can come in. It's very impactful. It can shake up definitely our lower three chakras. But it can also bring in those dreams, right? And remember your colors. I mean, any of these colors, really. I'm more drawn to this color here and the colors over here. Also, that heart chakra, right, with the teal. I mean, you look at the hawk spirit here, the spirit here. I gotta find a better way to do these. But it's like he's facing the heart, right? She's turning her back on that old way of living, that old way of believing. The starfish. This is also like that Mother Mary, Mother Earth energy coming in. This here, her golden grace. It's bringing grace into this anchoring, bringing grace, bringing compassion, bringing love. So allowing our actions, our words, our thoughts to be of love, and then drawing those into an action, actually. Yeah, yeah. I think that's pretty good for now. All right, so I will go ahead and get started with the meditation part. If you want to just take a moment to breathe, to inhale and exhale, to inhale and exhale. Allow this energy to flow fluidly, to see ourselves, our divine child, lit up, right? That's like that violet flame, to light up, to allow the energy to flow through the palms of our hands and the bottom of our feet, to envision those light centers lighting up, that everything we touch, everywhere we go, there is light, and that it reflects light, right? Inhaling and exhaling. We call the beloved source of all light. We gather here now in the eternal breath of creation. We breathe as one breath with the earth, with the galaxy, with the universe, Our hearts beat in unison with every star and every living being. Every inhale draws in the song of creation, and every exhale releases what is not truth. For this moment is sacred, and this breath is holy. And we say, I am here now, fully present in the breath of creation. My heart beats in unison with all hearts. I remember that I am one with all that is. And anchoring this knowing, this light into Mother Earth, and calling on Mother Earth, ancient and alive, our living temple. We root into your sacred body, your soil, and draw strength from your heartbeat. Through soil, through stone and water, we are held. And through you, we remember belonging, safety, and nourishment. Your heartbeat steadies ours. Your breath sustains us. We honor the ancestors and all who walked before us, and we offer this work as an act of love for future generations. And we say, I am anchored in the womb of Earth. I stand as a pillar of peace and stability, rooted in compassion and love. I honor the ancestors whose song echoed through my bones, whose wisdom echoes, reverberates, vibrates through my bones. And calling on the beloved cosmos, radiant and infinite, vast and luminous. We open our crowns to your infinite wisdom, allowing the rivers of starlight to descend into this space, bridging heaven and earth through our hearts. We lift our awareness to the stars, from the great central sun to every spark of life. We open the crown of our being to divine wisdom, above and below, within and without. We are the meeting place of worlds and the center point of heaven and earth. And we declare, I open to the infinite light of the cosmos. I am open to divine light and higher truth. I am the bridge between worlds. I am the harmony of earth and sky, the heart of the infinite made manifest, a living conduit of divine harmony. And we breathe in and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Beloved Source, we welcome the awakening that grounds into the body of earth. The lightning of change now meets the soil of stability. The sacred current flows where fear once held its roots. Feel the river of golden light descending through the crown, traveling down the spine and into the hips and feet. Every cell relaxing, every worry releasing. This light loosens the old codes of proof and doubt, washing them back into the earth to be transmuted as wisdom. And now breathing into the belly, the golden current of light, allowing it to anchor here in the temple of integrity. And we say, I am safe in this change. I am steady in this transformation. My foundation is alive and resilient. Allowing the waters to rise into the heart. We say, I trust the rhythm of divine timing. Evidence of limitations dissolve, and only the truth of love remains. What is mine in light arrives in right order through grace and ease. And breathing in and out. Inhaling light and exhaling love. See this brilliant light like a bolt of lightning entering now and rooting deep into the root. This is rich soil. Allow it to glow and draw that glowing down beneath your feet. For the body of earth hums in harmony with your body. And together we hold the new frequency of trust. And we say the awakening, the healing is grounded. The formation is renewed. The work continues through every peaceful breath. Lightning and soil, spirit and body. One rhythm, one faith, one grace. And so it is. And just breathing easy. Allowing the light to flow. You may even envision the light coming through the palms of your hands. Inhaling and exhaling. Wiggling your toes and your fingers. Allowing the breath of newness to rise and fall in harmony with your heart. Know within you that you are light and you are not alone. And we say, so it is. Okay. We thank Spirit for coming in and bringing confirmation, right? Allowing these activations to come in to free us from those limiting beliefs, those self-doubts, right? Giving us the power to say no when we need to say no without fear, without second guessing ourselves. allowing those boundaries of safety to expand in all that we do, all that we say, all that we believe. Finding that place of peace, drawing in that breath of life. Look at this. Meditation and nature. That's allowing Earth, right? Mother Earth to come in, to draw in those healing waters, actually into that creativity, that inspiration, allowing that inspiration from Mother Earth to come into our private spaces, our sacred spaces, to hold that light, to anchor that light. To anchor that healing. Allow that healing to come in. Give yourself grace, right? Don't get down on yourself because things aren't happening the way everyone expects them to, right? This may even be setting boundaries. It's like family or friends that say you're not enough. You're inadequate. You don't have what it takes. Look at this. She's like looking at this happy family like, yeah, she's a gremlin. She's a gremlin. Call in Archangel Michael, right? His blaming flu sword. Dissolve, cut, clear, and remove any feelings of being inadequate and send them to the 13th dimension and above, because you have more than what it takes. You are so much more than what it takes. There is more support, more healing here. This heals more than one at one time, this energy. It really does. Yep, it really does. Moving the body, maybe even traveling, getting creative, right? This is exercise, travel, your craft, whatever spiritual practice, right? Exercise that in your movement. Allow that to guide you. Anxiety and burdens, speaking. Give yourself grace. We have these chakras for a reason. And sometimes we just need to release. Sometimes we need someone that will listen, that will not judge, that will say, I know you're going through a lot. Right? It's feeling burdened. It's feeling anxious, worried. It's another gremlin. Give it some love. Give yourself some compassion and grace. For real. Allow spirit to come in and know that these releases are not always pretty, right? Things come up, things are said. Release them. Have compassion. Don't hold any judgments or expectations. Allow your voice, right? The words that you speak to build, right? This is building a sacred space, belonging. Speak that belonging, speak that knowing, speak those things which are not yet seen into this physical world. Speak it. We know it. We believe the healing is taking place. Let your words be in integrity to that knowing. Allow your actions to be in integrity to that knowing. They told me I needed a wheelchair. I never bought one. To this day, I have not bought a wheelchair, and it's been 8 years. I knew I was healing. I knew I was going to walk, and then I knew I was walking and I would continue to walk. To go out and buy a wheelchair, it didn't fit. To bring in self-forgiveness, right? This body, this light body is going through a total renovation, a complete overhaul. Allow that forgiveness to take place. It's bringing freedom to these old family patterns, these old dynamics. Remember, we're clearing the old karma. This is an ancestral wound, a deep ancestral wound. And this is spirit coming in and saying, you know, this is how we can do this energetically. This is the way we work with healing. Healing is not always sitting silently in the middle of the woods, meditating, or in your house, meditating. It takes words, it takes actions, it takes deeds that reflect what we know within us. That truth. Right? There may be even some travel. You know, you may find yourself traveling to some of these places in nature to just kind of get out, you know, get out of the muck and the mire, to change up the environment a bit, right? It's breaking through the illusions of lack, breaking through the illusions that you are not enough, coming out of a place of disempowerment into empowerment. For real. For real. So I'm really not wanting to keep you guys any longer. You have a badge of honor. You are honored and deeply respected by your ancestors and guides. You are freeing your ancestors. You are freeing your ancestors. Those who have come before you are going to walk in wholeness with you. And I know I always go back to Bagheera, but Bagheera is back in the astral, and he is standing tall and proud, and his body reverberates power, empowerment, and his ancestors are with him. They are walking in wholeness with him. Know that what has already been done has brought not only freedom to you, but to your ancestors. No doubt. No doubt. All right, honeys. I love you. I think this is enough. You guys have had enough. If I get anything new, anything more, I will bring it forward. Just know that you're held in love, and I send you with peace.